folks.
Yeah, we a couple of actual viewers in the chat room. It's interesting.
Yeah.
All right, so last time we played, you guys had made your way through the tomb of Xander in the necropolis. Confronted a long-lived and probably quite insane minotaur named Graxus the Butcher, who was wielding Xander's axe. Xander's undead body rose, took the axe from him, and handed it over to you guys. And upon the defeat of Graxus, you also reclaimed Xander's breastplate and the shield. All weapons that the prophet or Oracle Versi had said would be necessary to confront the Titans. The great axe and the shield, both badly damaged and desperately need to be repaired, but the breastplate is intact, and I believe Deacon is currently has it.
Yeah, I'm debating whether or not I want to switch off or not.
Yeah. Picking up from there, you guys continued on the road to Mitros, where you had been summoned by the king there, Acastus. Encountered some sort of very strange version of a cyclops who had one eye in the center of his chest, who seemed quite distraught over the fact that his friend had died. And when you were unable to do anything, turned his anger and fury upon you, nearly killing Helena.
Yeah, that's the last time I try to be helpful.
Before you guys managed to kind of drive him away. And you came to understand that the reason his friend had died is that perhaps this creature had lost its temper and pummeled its poor friend to death. Other than that, you guys are on the road to Mitros. Probably about 3 days away by your estimates.
Bombadita, bombadita, bombadita.
On the road again.
God.
Just can't wait to lick a toad again.
Don't lick toads.
Oh, but only the good toad.
No, don't lick any toads.
Just start pulling a donkey. Are we there yet?
I could probably show you the ones that get you the most high.
Mm.
Okay. So after about a day and a half or so on the road, you've broken off from the river and are now making your way through the woodlands. And you see headed in your direction 4 flying figures. They're still a significant ways away, but whatever they are, they're large enough that you can see them. Probably a good mile or so away through the clearing over the treetops, and they are definitely headed in your direction, and they seem to be flying in formation.
That's not ominous at all.
Do you think we can avoid them?
Well, if we stay under trees.
Good.
Can we recognize exactly what they are from here, Chris, or are they way too far out?
Give me a perception check.
Ew. Or not.
Ooh. So Agri, as you look, you can see the sunlight glinting off of their metallic scales. Those are dragons.
Fuck.
You basically squished. And they're dragon.
You, plural.
And as you kind of squint against the sun as they do draw closer, you can also tell that there are riders on those dragons.
Wait, what? I thought that wasn't a thing anymore.
As far as you know, that isn't a thing anymore.
Maybe
are we asleep? Do we all get knocked unconscious by that giant?
Maybe we did find the toads to lick. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Over the last day and a half, you guys would have had a chance to grab a long rest and everything. So anybody that hasn't can hit their long rest button.
Oh, let me just. There's my mouse.
I don't remember if I had or not.
But yeah,
Ooh,
Arathia, she kind
judging by
of
that damage, no.
Arathia, she like pinch yourself just kind of instinctively. As far as you know, you're awake. And as
I'll get ready to kill people because I don't have a good history with dragons.
and as they get closer, they kind of circle, and then they land about like a 300-ish feet away from you, like a sizable distance, enough to know that they're not intent on aggressive behavior.
No, they just want to talk, I guess.
And the lead kind of dismounts from his dragon. You can see he's got like this red cloak with gold trim that kind of flies around him, and the others have very similar cloaks but less ornate. Obviously, these cloaks are some sort of ranking designation. And he puts his he basically makes a show of leaving his spear and his sword and his shield kind of like hooked onto the dragon saddle.
Hey, look, guys, dinner and a movie.
And
sorry, go ahead, Chris.
he starts to approach.
$10 says they're gonna ask us to do something for them.
I'm not taking that wager.
Do we look like we're fools?
No, we just managed to raid a tomb, so hey.
I'll do it if they give me one of their dragons.
Ew.
And as he approaches, he gets probably about 30 or so feet away, and then he kind of stops and like kneels down on one knee as a show of respect or a greeting.
I do the appropriate greeting in return. I assume Helena would know that.
Kind of nods and he stands up and says, my name is Tarkon. I'm captain of the King's Centurions from Mitros. We've been sent to look for the heroes of the Heartland, I suppose. And you're a very distinctive looking lot.
Yes, that we are. And she flutters her wings as she says this.
Sorry, he was the captain of the guard of Mitros?
Yes.
Okay.
We've been sent by King Acastus to locate the heroes and to issue the king's summons.
Weren't we already summoned?
Yeah, that's why we were heading to Mitros.
You guys found the summons accidentally.
Oh.
Accidentally faded to come across it, whatever.
Well, you found us.
Are you already on your way to Mitros?
Yes, are you going to give us a ride?
I wouldn't trust one of those things.
It looks fun. We've done dumber shit.
Dragons just bring ruin and pain.
Says the one with the wings. Mm-hmm.
I have wings too.
That's what I mean. I don't.
Well, I will make sure you don't fall.
You stay firmly on ground.
Yeah. We would not be able to accommodate all of you. But
I guess I can fly myself.
I'm not flying on a dragon. There's not enough gold in this land. I don't trust one of those things as far as I can throw one. And in case you can't guess, I can't throw one very far at all.
And Kyra will kind of saddle up to Arathius and kind of nod and say, a wise choice. These there's something wrong with them here.
There's something wrong with them here?
The people.
The dragons. Dragons are. They shouldn't be beasts of burden. They shouldn't be mounts. There's a cloudiness to their eyes.
Taken over.
Improperly bred, I would assume.
Can I
And
do
yet-
in? Sorry, go ahead.
Right. I've met people
And-
like that.
And yet you ride them.
Can I do a handle animal to check out the dragons and see what's wrong with them?
Yeah, they will let you like approach their mounts easily. They're not overly concerned about,
How
Yes.
tiny I am?
the small group of you and their 4 dragons. They're not overly concerned.
I don't know what I'm looking at anyway. Although I've never seen a dragon before, so that probably makes sense.
Are any
They
of
should
them
they
green?
should be concerned. I'm gonna kill them all.
As you get a little closer, there's like a copperish color to their scales.
Okay. I will mention that if it makes sense to anybody.
And Helena, as you approach, you would have thought that a dragon would be like
Bigger?
Yeah, bigger, more powerful. The sort of thing that you would, be in awe or fear of. And there's none of that. They're like, to you, they come across really as little more than large flying horses.
I thought these guys were supposed to be, deadly. These guys don't look scary. They look like they should be in a petting zoo.
They serve their purpose.
Uh-huh.
All right.
But the king would like you to make haste to Mitros. If you are already on your way, then we can inform him to expect your arrival.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
that sounds good.
Thank you very much.
Take your winged hellions, even if they are domesticated bitch breeds, but go back.
You should
We'll
be
see you guys in a
nicer to
couple
them.
days.
Should be nicer to the animals.
Not natural.
Well, it's not their fault.
So Tarkon gets back on his mount, and the 4 of them fly off. And as they fly, you do get a sense of kind of the immense muscle power that is necessary to get a beast like this off the ground. And you realize that you probably don't want to be on the receiving end of one of those claws.
Oh, I have a good idea how much effort it takes. We've tried to lift Helena before.
Yeah, and the rest of me is tiny, so
Yeah. Covering the distance from the tavern table to the stairs, the bedroom upstairs, is a lot. It's a long haul.
I wasn't that drunk.
Well, it's just odd that one seems to have a bag of holding in their gut.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of effort to fly these wings.
You weren't that drunk. 5 of the dwarves said that them combined was about as drunk as you were.
Yeah, well, sirens can hold more liquor than a dwarf, obviously.
It's a hushed groan from every dwarf in the world. All in
Clearly, handle was not the right term.
in darker taverns across the world, all of the dwarves shudder when something walked over their grave.
They know not what happened this day, but they did know that a blood price was going to be paid down the road.
I'm gonna have a dwarven assassin out for my head now.
Who knew that in the prophecy, a siren would outdrink the dwarf?
Yeah, well, apparently I'm a very special siren.
Just goes to prove that she's a hero.
Hmm.
Constitution.
Well,
Exactly.
heroic appetite.
Oh, definitely.
One could even say hero's feast.
Oh,
Huh.
Stuff of legends, really.
Can't cast that yet, but I will.
So yeah, as the dragon riders fly off, and they do like a little bit of a circle. You don't know if it's necessary if they're looking for anything or if they're just kind of showboating a little bit. You're not entirely sure, but they fly off back in kind of a southwesterly direction towards Mitros.
Probably just making sure that we started moving.
They're showboating to the wrong person. I can fly better than they can.
Agri finally comes out from under the tree cover.
So that was odd.
Yeah,
What,
I
that
don't
the
like
King
it.
of Mitra sent a display of strength? Or that
Well,
he has sickly, possibly inbred baby dragons?
I mean, it's a little ostentatious. They just could have sent, like, carrier pigeons.
And that they're obviously waiting for us.
And Kara will speak up and says, Acastus is nothing if not given to shows of power. I don't know if he's necessarily the best king, but he's the king they have, so.
Well,
So
but-
you're saying he probably then disappoints all the ladies?
That is something you would have to take up with his queen and his concubines.
There are things I don't need to think about.
there are questions I'm so gonna ask.
There you go.
There's things
No,
that result in
questions
media
we need
comparisons
answered.
between different rulers.
Apparently, flying dragons are basically the fantasy equivalent of a big truck.
Yep.
He sent a whole convoy to.
Make up for his small penis? Yes, he did.
I suspect, yes.
Don't need to know. Don't need to think about it.
La 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 la.
And we're off.
What? I need a comedic verse in my next poem.
So I assume that you guys are just like having idle chit chat as you continue to
Yes.
make your way
Yeah.
to Mitros.
We're nothing if not idle chit chatters.
Another day and a half or so, and you start to get to the outskirts of Mitros. The first thing that you notice is the immense storm cloud over the city. It completely envelopes the entire city out into the harbor, and there's no other clouds around anywhere. There's just like one massive thunderhead, just like sending like lightning and rain just pummeling the city.
So Sidon's mad at another king.
Well, we knew to expect that.
Shocking.
It could be.
Well, yes, I suppose.
So you're saying that your next verse is going to be punishing to us?
Hopefully not.
Don't encourage it.
The pun is mightier than the sword, after all.
And as you get closer and closer to the city, you can see the road that you're traveling on starts to widen, and there are carvings along the way periodically that look like the writhing forms of dragons. And as you,
I'm just
go ahead.
it actually has outskirts. No, I was just saying I'm impressed the place has outskirts.
It does. It is large. It is the largest city in all of Thylea and a bastion for mortal civilization.
How large is it though versus the regular other cities?
It's easily twice the size of Astoria.
Okay.
And as you start to get closer, like not only is there the massive storm, but there are like howling gales just driving the rain.
Gale! Gale!
Ow.
And as you approach the main gate, the royal gate, the centurions at the gate are basically kind of like beckoning you forward as the rain just kind of hammers down. And I will get everybody to give me an initiative roll.
Okay.
Rain?
No active combat count.
Oh, right. Give me a sec. Just in that case, just give me a dexterity roll.
Jesus. Really?
Am I taking the safe
Save or
side?
check?
Check.
Oh, well, that was a save. That's better.
Oh, not for me.
Yay, we tied, Sophia.
Hey, I'm not last for
This
once.
road was not made for hooves.
Guess not.
Well, probably slick.
Very uncomfortable.
Why would they make the road for hooves? They have dragons.
Yes, I suppose that's true.
Well, I mean, we could be drowning in muck.
That's the next step.
So Agri and Sophia. Both of you give me dexterity saves.
Ah!
There you go.
No.
Nope.
Wow.
Helena, why did you have to fall on me?
I didn't.
Oh god, it must be Sophia.
Move like a.
All right. So both of you get struck by bolts of lightning.
Oh,
Ah,
Can I take a reaction?
Sure.
I'm casting Absorb Elements on myself.
All right.
I told you it was going to be shocking.
yeah, you did. You did warn me. Absolutely did.
So resistance.
Might have offended Sidehorn.
All right. So Sophia, you're going to take 36 points of electrical damage.
Holy.
Sidon's not
Yeah,
fucking
that's
around.
more than I have. I only have 28 hit points. She drops.
Helena runs and starts healing Sophia.
And Agri is going to take 36, save for 18, resistance for 9.
Woohoo!
So this bolt of lightning just comes down and it arcs and hits both of them, and it just like grounds right through Sophia. And she just like stiffens and then collapses.
All right. I'm going to go. Are we going in initiative order?
Nope.
Okay. I'm going to go start healing Sophia.
Okay.
Cure wounds. Do the thing. Cast spell.
Right.
I bring you back up for 8.
I'm gonna try and like help Sophia up or / get her under cover.
Okay. And yeah, the Centurions are kind of like waving you in, kind of into like the little like guard house that they have at the gate.
Okay.
Sophia limps along.
And as you guys kind of make your way in, just as those lightning bolts hit, everybody except for Agri and Sophia, because you guys were kind of busy. At the moment those lightning bolts hit, you saw what looked like a leering face kind of form out of the clouds.
Hey, look, it's Uncle Sidon.
Helena
Speaking-
mutters asshole under her breath.
The Centurions, in the meantime, are like, are you? I've never seen anybody get hit by lightning before. Do you need anything?
Yes.
Time.
Ow.
A healer?
Huh. Yes.
Not
That would be
Lo-
nice.
Not that Lord Sidon has many people that he's fond of. We're definitely on his list of people he is not fond of.
Apparently Sophia more so.
Surprise.
Might have something to do with being Pythor's daughter.
Mm.
Yeah, it hit Agri as well. He just happened to be caught on the outskirts of the blast, it seems.
Yep. Agri goes over to
Ow.
Sophia and gives a nice little pat on the back here.
She stumbles a bit.
Hopefully that
Ow.
helps.
Well, hopefully you're not here for either trade or the games, because both of them have been postponed for the time being.
We are here from summons from the king.
Summons from the king.
We are
Yes.
the heroes
Why do you think we got hit by lightning?
and survived.
Survived.
Bad luck.
No, the gods just hate us.
Titan.
Well, Titans hate us. Sorry, the Titans just hate us. The gods like us, for the most part.
One of them likes us.
When he's sober.
Two.
That's a god.
That's what I said.
He's referring to the Titan of the lands.
No, okay.
You know, the one that we sacrificed the boar to.
Yes, she does like us.
So the guard captain will basically motion for some people. It's like, you and you, escort them to the palace. And they get this look like, you have to go out in the rain. They kind of like take their cloaks and throw them over their heads. They don't have hooded cloaks, so they just kind of hold them up over their heads to help keep them somewhat dry. And
You have to go out in the rain anytime that you have to do anything. This doesn't look like the type of storm that passes.
it's been like this for a couple of days now. It's just settled over the city. Some say that it's Sidon's wrath.
It certainly looks like it.
Well,
What
he
in
did seem
particular
to. The cloud did seem to have a Sidon's type of grin on its face after the lightning bolt struck.
What did you guys particularly do to piss him off?
It's nothing. I make the requisite sacrifices at the temples. I go to the dates. I go to I do everything I'm supposed to do.
The answer to your question, Helena, is and then Arathius just basically gestures at the city as a whole. Is what they've done.
Yeah, we did that too. We didn't like it.
So,
So the Centurions escort you through the city. You just get kind of glimpses here and there of things that kind of, you're making pretty good haste to try to not get hit by more lightning, to get out of the rain as best you can.
as we're walking through, I give Sophia another cure wounds.
Arathius tries to be as outgoing and positive as he can to the people that regard them as they pass by in the rain.
Yeah, there's the streets are empty.
I don't blame them.
Yeah, but I know we got people looking at windows because there's people walking out in this. They're nuts.
There is some of that, and actually, Arathius, give me a perception check.
Where are we on this map? Or are we yet?
I think we came in over here.
Yeah, either that or 25.
Yeah, you're making your way this way.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Arathius, as you're making your way, and you're specifically like looking for people, try to nodding at the people looking at the windows, and so on and so forth. And you see at first glance what looks to be a figure in an alleyway watching you. But then, like as a lightning flash hits, it is an immaculately carved statue.
Oh wow, that's an impressive statue.
The Centurions look and say, "Goddamn cult of snakes."
Huh? Please explain.
It's one of many troubles plaguing the city of late. Nothing more than thieves and cutthroats, but they tend to leave these statues around where they go, if you catch my meaning.
Like,
Just how immaculately carved was that statue?
you're saying that as if like a basilisk cult of snakes.
That's our guess is that they're using captured basilisks to ensure there's no witnesses to their crimes.
Sneaky.
Very.
So we're working on rooting them out, but he kind of gestures vaguely behind him to where the statue is. Like, we don't get a lot of volunteers. There's shit duty and then there's shit duty.
That's fair.
There's shit duty that you come home from, and there's shit duty you don't.
Yep.
Exactly. And they finish escorting you up to the palace, and the palace, from what you can see in the lightning flashes and everything, is like absolutely like a gorgeous and somewhat ostentatious display of wealth and extravagance.
Shocking.
You guys might not be having this problem if your king would just put his dick away.
I would suggest when you get in there that you do not let her do the talking. Acastus is temperamental.
Not our first temperamental king.
I appreciate the advice. There's definitely warning signs of that all over, but it is good to hear.
I'm sorry, am I wrong?
Wrong and being brought up is two different things.
Not everything needs to be said.
You can still be run through by a cartel of guards for being right.
Or crispy and good with ketchup.
So they pass you off to the interior guard, who escort you through these large marble hallways. The ceilings are 20 feet tall. The hallways are 15 feet wide. There's like gold lilt on everything, and everything is carved from pristine white marble.
Yeah, remember the time I got punched in the face repeatedly for being right?
Mm-hmm.
I remember. I didn't say I was going to say anything to him, just saying.
Oh, it's nice to be slightly dry.
Or at least starting to dry.
Are you feeling better?
No, I feel slightly crispy. I smell
Well,
slightly
slightly crispy is better than entirely crispy.
crispy. Yes.
True.
Yes.
So, braised beef then?
Oh, don't make me dislike you, please. I still don't quite have a feeling in my right hand.
It'll come back soon.
It's like, watch it, Deacon. I'm the one that's supposed to be just barely tolerated here.
I thought that was me.
And
I meant in our group.
and the centurions escort you into the throne room as there's like an ear-splitting crack of thunder. And in the throne room, you do see there's a middle-aged man with a very powerful build sitting on a ostentatious and gilded throne directly opposite the entrance. And then kind of on the step below him are 4 others. One of them is a very stunningly beautiful but indeterminate age woman. Looks like she could be anywhere from 20 to 60, just that kind of timelessness. There's a soldier dressed in a blue cloak that you recognize as the individual that was overseeing the sacrifice of Honora.
Oh.
There is a blue-skinned man with like black hair pulled back in a ponytail with these like very intricately decorated horns that kind of curl out of his head, kind of backwards. And a very finely dressed young woman. Looks like she's like 22 if she's a day. And then there are centurions standing at attention along the walls.
Oh, I see we've come in at a delicate time.
I look over at Helena, and I take
Bow
my
very deeply.
I take my fingers and I put them about 2 inches apart and just kind of say, hey, you know,
Yeah.
probably
She kind of like gestures. Yeah. But then bows very deeply and
nonverbal communication, isn't it fun?
puts on the show.
So the king stands up, and you do notice he's got like a very ornate sword at his hip, with 9 bright blue gems kind of running the length of the hilt.
I'm on my knee.
Oh, please stand. Welcome guests, heroes of the Heartlands, or so I'm told. Word has reached us of your quest and of the prophecy surrounding it.
I'll look over at the fellow who was attempting to sacrifice my sister and say, yes, I'm sure it has reached you.
And Gaius just kind of smirks at you. I have summoned you here because I am in need of counsel.
Of course. How can we help?
As you may have noticed, our city is besieged by evil weather.
Yes.
We have spent several days discussing how best to placate Sidon, but my advisors, and he glances at the other 4, cannot seem to agree with anything. We know that the Oracle's prophecy has angered Sidon. That is clear. And my understanding is you are the ones foretold to confront the Titans and restore balance.
Supposedly.
Therefore, I find it fitting that perhaps you can decide how we resolve this crisis.
Now, isn't
I
that an
bel-
interesting situation?
Oh,
I
no
believe
pressure.
we would have to know how the situation was brought about, how Sidon was angered in the first place.
I'll just look down at Helena, raise an eyebrow.
Those who know her know she's choosing her words very carefully right now.
Yeah, obviously, because she's like circling back on the conversation already.
Yeah, there's been no swearing either.
Mm.
Mm.
And I will get those of you that are trained in history can give me a history test.
I think that's like all of us at this point, isn't it?
It's I don't know if Arathius is, but I think it's like everybody
No.
else.
In case anyone needs a visualization of that eyebrow, I put it in the Discord.
So apparently Helena and Sophia remember something.
Okay. So as the king kind of approaches, kind of steps down the steps towards you, and you kind of get a better view of that sword. Both of you realize that you've heard tales of swords like this before. Those swords are capable of severing the soul from a mortal being and storing it in those gems.
Well, isn't that monstrous? Not that I know that yet.
Yes, it's monstrous indeed. That is every kind of wrong.
Yep, it is.
And I'm just like, nice craftsmanship.
I feel like Helena looks at Sophia and just kind of like taps her on the arm and goes, "There."
Now, our belief is that Sidon is angered by this prophecy. This city, the first of its kind, is sacred to the five gods. It is here that Mitras herself ascended. It is here where the oath of peace was sworn. It is here that his anger is focused. Unfortunately, we cannot come to a decision that all of us agree upon.
I find it interesting simply that Sidon, a great and powerful being, a titan, eternal, unchallengeable, unfathomable in his power and wisdom, would take so poorly to even the words of an oracle. He's going to exist beyond us, won't he? He's been here forever. He shall be here forever. Isn't that not the case?
If the oracle has prophesied that the time of the Titans is over, then it is believed by many that the time of the Titans is over. If he does not show strength, then worship of him will falter. If worship of him falters, then his power will wane.
I suggest you invest in hooded cloaks.
It's interesting. I haven't seen any lessening in the fervor of the prayers to Sidon or the Lady of Dreams and Death in these times, even though this prophecy has been foretold and many speak of the time being here. If anything, it seems prayers and sacrifices are gaining strength.
As word spreads, things will change, perhaps for the better, perhaps not.
Perhaps erecting a monument to him could soothe his ire.
What were your options?
My hope was that as great heroes, you would be able to use your sorceress capabilities to thwart the storm. I've heard that there are spells that can alter the weather over vast swaths of land.
Well, that was one option. You said you and your advisors were discussing different options and couldn't come to an understanding. What were the others?
So Gaius will step forth and say, Sidon abhors the worship of the other gods, and while your idea of a statue to him is not without merit, as long as the Temple of the Five stands, he will be affronted. The Temple of Five was to be destroyed, I think he would be appeased.
Sir Gaius?
I'm not sure that's a possibility.
Yes.
I'm curious, how does Lord Sidon view your actions and devotions in recent days? Have you perhaps failed him?
I have not.
You see blood coming out of Helena's mouth.
I have done the jobs appointed to me.
Oh, very good, good. I was ever worried for you because of how things turned out in the north.
That is unfortunate. I'm sure his attentions will turn back to Astoria at some point in the future.
Oh, without a doubt, we've not but time on our hands.
I'm not sure that appeasing one god by angering 4 others is really your best avenue.
So, what else?
So the blue-skinned horn gentleman steps forward, and as he steps forward, you can see like the indeterminate aged woman just like glares at him. It's like, my suggestion is that we appeal to Letheria for intervention. She is his sister and his wife. We can easily gain her assistance by ordering 70 of the children from the city to take the black robes. Dedicate themselves to her.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a good idea either. Forcing children into cult slavery? Yeah, no thanks.
There's more than one way to give praise and worship to Lutheria and to show your regard. I mean, we could even just do like a long fete celebrating Lutheria.
So your options so far are destroying a temple and enslaving children. No wonder you can't agree on anything.
Lutheria is more than one-dimensional.
Oh, I agree with you. I'm just
coerced servitude and false platitudes through forcing children's. That's a temporary solution at best, anyway. Eventually, Lutheria will realize that their words are as water to her. They're not the fine wine of her true believers.
Agri looks over to Rathius and gives quite a dirty look.
Personally, I've always viewed forced indoctrination as being the weakest form of faith.
perhaps Gaius could convince his master to share.
Perhaps.
Any other options?
Like, a grown-up.
So the younger looking woman says, I don't understand why we haven't tried the usual solution. We sacrifice animals to placate him, as we have always done. Anacassis turns and in this very, very condescending voice says, like, I've already explained to you that we do not have the livestock necessary to perform the hecatomb.
That sounds like a very demanding process.
Is anybody actually trained in religion?
Yep.
I would hope there's 2 people in this room trained in religion.
Beast.
Just a little bit.
I mean, one of them already gave me a dirty side eye.
Holy cow.
I'm dancing on the razor's edge. Let me dance.
So yeah, Agri, Sophia, and Helena, you all know that the hecatomb is a special sacrifice that requires 100 of the highest quality oxen.
How many?
100.
Yeah, no.
Sounds like something a king would need to buy.
What's the going rate on an oxen?
About 100 gold.
Oh gosh.
Oh, you'd have to give up some of the gilding on his throne.
I'm not sure why you wouldn't be able to afford that.
The royal treasuries currently are in between tax seasons.
She'll look around the room, give a nod to a couple of the more the items that look like they're more solidly made of gold. And then look back at him and raise both eyebrows.
Perhaps you could do some trading.
We can't currently with the storm sitting over us.
We made it in. Surely you have someone who can make it out.
Perhaps. And how long would that take? And what will be left of the city in the meantime?
Your riders were able to come to us through this weather.
The dragons are just as likely to eat an oxen as to trade for an oxen.
I thought your dragons were tame. Or that's what we were led to believe, anyway.
They are controlled. They're domesticated. They are still, at their hearts, ravenously hungry beasts.
Aren't we all?
Really depends on the day, and I'll look down at Helena.
Yeah, well, I haven't been to a tavern in a while, okay? I'm hungry.
So, control weather, destroy temple, sacrifice some children to Lutheria, or find 100 oxen.
And the other offer on the table, as obviously not everyone has spoken.
So the queen stands. And she approaches you. And you can tell she gives no shits about anybody else in this room. There's just like this presence around her. And she walks right up to you. Says, "Greetings. I am Valis, Queen of Mitros, Goddess of Knowledge."
I knew that name.
Oh yeah, know that name really well.
Etrus actually offers some platitude and recognition with a bow.
Agri also bows
So
the
does
best way
Helena.
Centaur can.
For centuries, the people of Mitros have revered me as a goddess. Kings have traveled across the Cerulean Gulf to seek my counsel. But as you can see, my husband prefers to consult with fools and concubines.
Well, unfortunately, sometimes it can be quite difficult to find a good ear to listen to, I suppose.
So there is another option.
Replace your king.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, find a better husband.
For all of his faults, the people love him.
I could see that.
So the gods are capable of saving the city. The four of us can weave a spell to counter Satan's magic, but it will require sacrifice for power, and I don't know if the others will be up for it. My understanding, and she looks directly at Sophia, is that perhaps you may know them on a more personal level than others.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Some of them get around more than others.
Well, it's no problem. I can have them here very quickly. If you think that you can convince Pythor and Vulcan, then we can save this city. And she looks at Kyra and she says, "Isn't that right, sister?" Kyra's
Oh my god, are you still playing this game?
yeah. There is that look on her face. Kyra's like, very well, if the other two will agree.
It's alright, I knew you were a goddess when we made our wager. Or at least I guessed.
Yeah, next time I'll have to choose a more subtle name, I guess.
Well, I mean, between the name and the profession.
Oh, that's right. I should take a different profession maybe this time.
I mean, if you'd at least been a jungler.
Sophia, do you think we can convince them?
I think Pythor would enjoy snubbing
I
the
think
store.
so too.
I think given the recent attempt to sacrifice his daughter, Pythor might be a bit of a difficult sell on this.
You mean the attempt that we triumphant heroes ensured did not happen? She was put
Yes.
up in sacrifice as demanded, and come the morning, she was returned home.
She was, but the attempt was still made.
You can only demand that so many times.
Sounds like someone owes us a favor then.
Vulcan kind of does too for getting the forges back.
Well, let's eat on it.
Yes, that's a great idea. Can't think on an empty stomach.
Yeah, considering there's a whole new cuisine here.
Yes.
Waterlogged. It's all waterlogged.
Doesn't matter.
Do I look like a duck? Do you think I will like water-soaked bread?
Ugh.
No, the duck in and of
Nasty.
itself is quite tasty.
Duck would be delicious. With a couple of eggs. Oh.
Sophia will just sigh and shake her
A
head.
couple of eggs, you would empty an entire colony of eggs.
That's not the point. The point is it would be delicious, especially properly done.
I still think your best option, Your Highness, Goddess, would be the oxen. You have the fortune to pay for it.
And the means to at least transport someone beyond the storm who can then could do the shopping.
Could Pythor not send some in from Astoria?
How many oxen did they need again?
100.
100.
So 10,000 gold's worth of
100.
oxen.
100 might be pushing it.
Do you have any oxen here?
Ollie oxen free?
There are some down at the stockyards.
Oh, they cost gold.
The key word is the best oxen.
Well-bred, well-blooded.
Yes, purebred almost. When was the last time this ritual was ever done?
Sacrifices decided are frequent whenever a ship leaves the harbor, but the hecatomb itself has not been done for decades.
Could be part of the problem.
Mm.
Ultimately, as king, I've decided that the final decision will be yours. Whichever you decide is what we will accomplish. So, as your centaur friend there says, I will arrange for a meal. You guys can discuss and let us know what your final decision is, and we will abide by it. And he looks around at everybody. And there's like a do not fuck with me on this, like, tenor to his voice.
All right.
Yeah, guys, don't fuck with them.
Food.
So the Centurions escort you into a hall, and it takes a little bit of time, but they start bringing out some platters of food and figs and olives and cheese and so on and so forth. But other than that, they actually leave you guys alone to make your decision.
Helena
really
eats as she usually eats.
I really want to call the king bro.
Nah, he's a bruh.
Just something about him.
Mm.
So, Helena, duck. So, my mother, when I was a kid, she used to cook up some fresh duck, usually in the morning. And then after it was cooked up, she used to then cook the eggs and bacon in the rendered duck fat. And it was
Oh,
spectacular.
that sounds amazing.
It was. It's sadly I'm the only one that remembers it now.
Well, you need to go down to the kitchen and tell them how to do it.
Well, sure. Why not?
That sounds delicious.
Yep,
Pia just
I'll
slowly shakes her head.
I'll wander out where the kitchen is, and I will make my request, just like Mom used to make.
Yeah.
Give me a persuasion check.
Can I come down and help him?
Sure, if the
Yeah.
two of you are going to the kitchen together.
Okay.
Helen's gonna set up a cot.
She's gonna beg with great big eyes.
You want me to make the persuasion and you give me the an add to it?
Absolutely. I think you probably have far more charisma than I
Okay.
do.
Apparently not.
Should I
Although
roll?
whatever your ad gives me.
It gives advantage, so you get the 22.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
So the chef's, I don't,
Please? Pretty, please?
I don't have duck. I could see about getting some from the market, but I don't have any on hand right now. But if you're going to be here for a couple of days, we can certainly
Probably will.
accommodate.
And she's like pouting and everything, full puppy dog, the works.
Well, sounds like it would make a great breakfast. So
So good.
we will definitely be spending the night for sure.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Hopefully you can help the king with whatever it is he's requested.
We're
We are
hoping.
hoping as well.
And both of you give me perception checks.
Okay.
You perceive nothing.
I perceive everything.
So as you guys kind of make your way to the kitchen area, you pass by like windows that look into the interior courtyard of the palace.
Mhm.
And in the courtyard, you see this very large silver-scaled dragon laying on just like a mountain of silver coins.
What?
Huh. Well,
Now I have a question to go ask them.
yeah.
How does dragon eggs taste for breakfast?
Is the dragon willing to part with part of its silver hoard? But
Let's go ask
we
the
can,
king if it belongs to him.
Helena, let's just go back to the group and we'll talk amongst ourselves a bit. Maybe that will help us formulate a concept.
Okay. Hey guys, did you know there's a big old silver dragon out there with a bunch of money?
Fuck!
What?
Yeah, there's like a big old silver dragon out there sitting on a mound of coins.
I'm in the same building as a fucking dragon? Nah!
Apparently a couple.
Out there where?
Out in the courtyard.
In the middle of the courtyard of the palace. Come, have
We
a look.
saw him on the way to the kitchen. Come on,
And
we'll show
he
you.
says, "Can't. I don't need to see a dragon."
But Sophia,
It's really cool.
You
wanna-
really don't
can't
think that the
afford.
fastest solution will work at all?
You haven't seen his hoard of drachma. Oi, oi, oi.
You go take drachma from the fucking dragon.
I bet I
Tell the dragon
could.
to take the coin.
Well, if it's nesting here, I don't know. Maybe the king has command over it.
You would hope, but he doesn't seem the wisest creature in the palace. Obviously.
One should never deal with dragons.
Agri just does a finger pointing over towards Arathius in agreement.
I'm doing a quick history check just to see if Helena knows something Jessica might know. Nope, she does not. Never mind.
So yeah, so the servants periodically come and like refresh the wine and the water and the food, but otherwise leave you alone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're getting duck eggs tomorrow for breakfast. It's gonna be amazing.
Sophia just shakes her head.
So,
Right.
can anyone control weather?
No.
No.
That rules that out.
I can create or destroy water, but not quite this much.
I can
I mean,
move
if
winds, but that's it.
If it's a physical being or summoning it, I could kill them.
Helen and I can create winds, but it's not actually storm winds.
Yeah. Most of
No,
my
I-
abilities involve
That's
insulting people.
So that takes that out of the equation.
Really good at insulting people.
Yeah, so tapping and accessing the magic, unless there was something on a scroll somewhere.
If there was something on a scroll in the area, they would have found it and used it.
I don't
Yeah.
understand why the two goddesses can't control weather, but they expect us to be able to.
'Cause
Doesn't
They-
that seem a little odd to anybody else?
They're not the
I
ones that suggested it.
He's not listening to the goddess of wisdom.
The goddess of wisdom suggested that the gods pool their power together and dispel it, breaking Sidon's grasp.
Hmm.
I think she'll have a great deal of trouble convincing Father.
I don't think she will at all, considering everything.
He owes us?
Not just that he owes us, that things are turning, the prophecies in play.
What about the Oath of Peace?
Yeah, doesn't reigning on her kingdom and
That's
disbarring her from
that
trade.
becomes a gray area, which is why they can actually combine their power to dispel it as well.
So they can't directly get involved, but they can piss on each other.
Yeah, basically. Have you not taken that away from everything we've had to deal with so far?
Yeah, this entire thing's been a giant dick measuring contest the entire time.
Which is why Cassis mentioned that we have the decision, not on them.
Precisely.
Certainly, definitely in a condemnation of modern politics.
Well, that's why she's ruling through her husband.
Except she's not.
No,
So-
not very well anyway.
Let's scratch
No,
some
she
other
made
ones off.
she made a point of saying
The people love him.
Yes.
it's easy to love someone that you could believe you could one day become,
Well,
or that frivolously throws their self around.
the concubine comment certainly felt real.
Didn't it, though?
Just a bit. There's a little anger.
Wonder-
Well, the
So-
junior priestess did have the look of someone who could be.
So we're not wanting to destroy the temple.
No, that seems like a dumb idea.
Destroying the temple would probably weaken the gods more than the ritual, being as it's one of the strongest points of their religion.
Especially here in the city.
Mm.
Mhm.
And
Gathering the oxen will take forever.
and look over towards Rathius and say, and I don't really like the idea of sacrificing children to the Black Robes.
Oh, hell no.
Not
no.
on my watch.
No, that's as I said. Those are paltry words, and they're more water than wine.
Besides, what makes them think that she'll actually do anything or could do anything about it? I mean, I understand that she's his sister, but she may be enjoying this as much as he is.
Oh, she drives a far greater style of pleasure from far different things.
That doesn't make me feel any more comfortable about it.
No, she draws next to nothing from this oppressive storm. Just as she would as I said, she would only draw water as opposed to wine from such paltry sacrifices as children, when instead they could grow up and see how terrible she can be, learn to fear what she can do, and feed her through that fear. As a great many adults do.
Yeah, see, Sidon's a dick, but she's just psycho.
She's Fae.
We call in favors.
At the end of the day, we are. That's where there's often good and bad in all of us that are Fae, and it takes the moment. We're part of the world, part of nature, part of the turning.
I get it.
That
I mean, I'm
does
not
mean
exactly human myself.
yes, but you do come from human stock, cursed human stock, but still.
Mm,
So how's the easiest way we can talk to Pythor?
Well, Valis did say that she could have them here in an instant.
I agree. I think we should at least try talking to them. Maybe get the beginnings of the cattle started while we're speaking to them. As a backup plan.
Well, if she can get them here in an instant, they can get back home in an instant and start doing the cattle, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Well, seems viable.
Mm-hmm.
It's what she wants.
She is the goddess of wisdom.
Exactly.
Probably knows what she's talking about.
Agri polishes off the glass of wine in front of him and then fills his mug and grabs another.
Erathius, as has been his habit since the dwarven caverns, has a second glass of wine that's filled but set completely aside, and it's filled from early in the pitcher, not the dregs.
Helena will have had most of this conversation with food in her mouth and is stuffing more in her bag.
Yeah,
Is that
Deacon
what
will
they
not
call it
do
now?
anything.
Her bag of holding.
I need a bag of holding. I should pick up one.
Your hollow leg of holding.
Hollow leg of holding, yeah.
So you guys finish off your meal and make your way back to the throne room.
Yes.
Yep.
Healing myself.
Helena's still chewing on like a dish of nuts or figs or something.
So as you enter into the throne room again, all eyes kind of turn on you as you enter. The king steps forward and says, "So have you arrived at a decision?"
Believe we've come to the thought that you should summon the other gods. At best, we can convince them. At worst, they can start bringing you cattle, sending you cattle.
Very well. And he looks over. He looks over at Valis. Says, "Call your brother and your father."
Hello, brother. Hello, father.
Just remember, keep it to 15 seconds or less. Otherwise, royalties. So
Royalty always cares about those taxes.
so she'll nod, and she'll indicate for you and for Kyra to follow her.
Whoever that you is, I'm really worried for them.
I think it's all of us.
I was expecting a little sheep.
You probably are.
They need oxen.
That's why the sheep is safe, but also in danger.
Not a sheep.
You're just bad.
Very, very bad.
That was terrible.
The setup was
So
worth
good.
it.
So good.
So, yes, follow along behind Valis.
Mm. We do the thing.
Okay. So she kind of leads you a little ways away from the palace, to the kind of behind the palace, about a block and a half or so, to the Temple of the Five.
Okay.
Ah, that's how this is possible.
And inside the temple there are small shrines to each of the gods. including Mitros. And she kind of stops and she like lights a candle at the ones for Vulcan and Pythor. And very quietly under her breath, you can hear her saying, we need to meet. We need to discuss. I'm with your granddaughter. Things are happening, and I need your counsel. And then there's a moment or two, and then you feel like this thrum of power in the air as Vulcan and then Pythor kind of like step out of their shrines. And Pythor just kind of nods at you all. He does have a big kind of smile on his face, but he just smiles. He doesn't run up and give anybody a hug or anything of that nature.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
Nod back.
Or a punch.
Vulcan will also kind of nod stoically.
That's part of why I didn't greet them with the exuberant sup bitches.
Hey guys!
Sophia will nod to them both.
And Velas will fill them in, say, that's the storm is of Sidon's doing. It's skirting the edges of the Oath of Peace, but he's not directly interfering in anything that we are doing. But that same gray area allows us to disrupt this if we're willing to give up a little bit of our power. It's not an easy decision to make. This was my idea, so I obviously am willing to do so. Little sister says she will do whatever the two of you do. But this should be a decision you make of your own free will. And Pythor and Vulcan will look at you and say, do you think this is the only way to solve this problem?
It's the most expedient way. Evidently, they haven't been preparing oxen for a large enough sacrifice
For decades.
for decades.
And the alternative is a lot worse.
We're not willing to sacrifice children.
Nor destroy this temple.
We can certainly appreciate both of those, but the temple could easily be destroyed before any children are sacrificed.
Oh, yes. But we surmise that destruction of this temple may have a greater impact on your power than the sacrifice required to dispel this, to break the storm.
There is some wisdom that if our temple is destroyed, the Titans will get a stronger foothold. People will have no place to go.
And those that still worship the Titans openly in the city will be able to point to it as a sign of your flagging strength.
That is very astute.
Quite the opposite of what we want.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, they would be able to phrase it as a show of strength on your part.
That is very true. If the combined might can drive back the Titans, that story were to spread, that would certainly sway people.
Well, we conveniently
Very
know
good at
some
spreading
bards.
stories.
Conveniently know some bards.
Mm.
So Pythor will look over at Sophia directly and say, do you think this is a good idea?
I think the oxen is the best idea, but the oxen won't be ready for who knows how long. And who am I to argue with the goddess of wisdom?
Well, I do it all the time, so.
Yes, but you're her brother.
Technically, you're her niece.
I would say something, but last time I
Yes.
said something of that nature, I was punched repeatedly.
Niece, not sister.
Oh, I should apologize for that. I was drunk.
Well, it was actually quite funny, so don't worry.
You know,
I'm glad it amused you.
my temper gets the better of me when I've been drinking.
I hadn't
Yeah, yeah.
noticed.
It was funny, but I do remember saving you.
Hmm.
But if you think this is a wise course of action, daughter, then I'll do it.
I think this is a better idea than anything other than the oxen. But the oxen wouldn't be ready before who knows how long. And he claims not to be able to pay for it.
Well, kings and their money are hard
to
part.
I'd just be more concerned what would happen to all the people in the town and the surrounding area if the storm was to last until 100 oxen of such quality could be gathered.
Mm.
That is a very good point as well. Very well. And he looks over at Valis, is like, we'll do this.
For myself, one of the things that I would think now, I am certainly not versed in the ways of religion like the others, but I've always been taught that the worship of the gods does over time increase your power. If this is an attempt and you get rid of the storm, how is it then that more folk wouldn't begin to believe?
I think if the tales of this sacrifice were to reach the ears of the people, then in time our strength would come back.
Of the gods giving of themselves to protect their people.
Hey, Kira, I
We-
think we could come up with a bitchin' song about that.
I think we could definitely make sure that the word spreads. That won't be an issue.
I can barely keep my mouth shut at the best of times.
True.
I can only keep my mouth shut whenever I bite my tongue so hard it bleeds. You can still see a little trickle of blood in her mouth.
Well, then I guess in some ways our fate is now in your hands.
Funny how that happens, ain't it?
We have a pretty good PR division.
Yeah, I'm great.
Well, I believe the Oath of Peace is coming to an end anyway, so
Certainly seems that way.
Let's fuck it up a little faster.
right, let's do this. So Valis basically leads them a little bit further into the temple. She's like,
I get ready to drink in all their divine power.
you mortals should back up a little bit.
All right.
No
Just-
problem.
Just in case.
This is a rare opportunity to observe something that I don't think anyone has ever seen. I can't turn this up.
No, I'm pretty interested too.
Agri steps back.
So the four of them basically get to the kind of the center of the temple, kind of the center of where the 5 shrines, like if you drew a line from each of the shrines to the center of that, and they kind of hold hands and they kind of look at one another, and where they're all standing together, even though like Vulcan is obviously a dwarf and the rest of them are humans, you can see the family resemblance. And they kind of look at each other, and then they look over at you, and as they do, there's like this very, very, very bright glow emanates from them. And then just kind of,
hey, Sophia really does take after her family.
And then this beam of light basically just fires up into the sky.
You know, I might be blind for the better part of a day, but it was worth it.
So
Give,
worth it.
give me a Constitution saving throw, those of you that are specifically watching this.
I will. So worth it.
Oh man, if only I had advantage.
So yes, both Arathius and Helena are temporarily blind.
So worth it.
Yeah.
I'm behind my shield. Couldn't care less.
Not watching.
My they still hate me.
Oh, these gods' future's so bright, we should have wore shades.
That was terrible. That was absolutely.
Blinded by the light.
Oh God.
Woo!
No.
I don't say this often, but we may have used up our musical budget for the episode.
The cheesy monkeys right again.
Oh dear God.
Aww.
Miss Rock Band so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, as this light goes up into the sky, you can hear the rain and the wind start to slow, and then start to dissipate. And then you can look outside. You can see the sunlight. I mean,
Can we?
After a minute or two, maybe.
some of you can see the sunlight.
Looks like it worked.
And yeah, it takes
Yeah.
probably like 10 or 15 minutes for the rest of you to kind of regain your vision.
That's fine. This is fine.
Everything's fine.
And you know, as you kind of make your way out of the temple, and the five gods, they do look somewhat more diminished, not quite as regal, not quite as imperious.
What's the usual offering to Valis?
Generally speaking, the gods accept sacrifices of any animals or grains. Anything that's of worth is generally sacrificed. Generally speaking, like if you sacrifice an animal to the five, you sacrifice the animal, you like put it on the pyre, etc., and then the people of the area will come and eat the body. Sacrifices to the Titans, same thing without the communal sharing of a meal, and the food is essentially just wasted.
Ew.
Typical.
It's actually punishable by death to eat a sacrifice to one of the Titans.
So what you're saying is the Titans are basically the Republicans?
Selfish assholes.
Yeah.
Ah,
And so Pythor will take a look around and say, like, I think I'll walk back to Astoria if there's no further need of me. It's been a while since I've toured around.
If a fellow with one eye starts complaining that his friend has died,
stay the hell away from him.
don't let him hug you.
Don't offer to help or comfort him.
No. He hasn't earned it. He's
That
done
was a
it
bad idea. That was such a bad idea.
Well, that just sounds like a challenge.
No, it isn't pleasant. He smells terrible too.
I haven't wrestled a blemis in centuries.
You
Look
should
what
look
you've
over
done.
at her grandfather.
Well, wish you luck with that then.
The reasonable one.
Thank you. And shouldn't take me more than a day or two to get back to Astoria, so if you need me, I'll be there.
Thanks for your sacrifice.
Mm.
Thank
Yeah.
you for your help.
Nice seeing you.
Well, thank you for yours. I owe you for what you did for us. And he looks at Sophia. It's like, and I haven't forgotten what I've said.
Good.
So
I hold out my hand to Pythor.
he will like give you like a big meaty like forearm shake sort of thing.
Thank you for being worthy of my belief.
Well, I need to start living up to expectations, I guess.
That is good to hear.
And he will go up to Sophia, and he doesn't give her a hug because he doesn't feel like he's that close to her, but he will nod to her and say, "Keep them safe. You know, make the family proud."
I'm doing my best. She still looks slightly crispy.
And Vulcan will say like, "Well, I'm too old to walk back to the mountains, so but
Oh, we have stuff that you might be able to look at repairing.
Oh, yes.
oh, sure, certainly.
New things to work on.
It's good to be busy.
Or old
The
things to work on.
damaged axe,
Um,
damaged shield.
Where
Some
did-
of these might be familiar.
Where did you find my shield?
Well, funny story.
Off a dead body.
We went to the necropolis. It was fun.
It's not
Oh.
fun.
It was so fun.
Not fun. You have a strange definition of fun.
I
Me-
died twice. It was great.
I had
just
a
don't
passing
know.
time.
A passing time.
And Vulcan he'll take the shield and he'll look and he's like, "Oh, I haven't seen this. I haven't seen this in so long." And he kind of like pets the dragon or the lion's head that's on the front of it, and you're fairly certain you see the lion head move ever so slightly.
At this point, that doesn't surprise me.
He's like, "Oh, that's okay. We'll get these fixed."
Yay.
Excellent. I pull the breastplate out, and I ask, "So, what exactly does this do?"
Oh, I forgot I made that.
Well, when the list of items you've made is so long.
Glad I could jog your memory.
Yeah. Oh, it's well, hey, you'll notice the craftsmanship. This was when I was in like a really creative period, so I put more filigree on it than I usually do. So people will pay a little bit more attention to you.
Okay.
And it's pretty good at deflecting blows from like giants and their kin.
Excellent. Probably could have used that earlier.
So mechanically speaking, it gives +1 to your charisma.
Okay.
And let me just find that. +1 bonus to your armor class above what a breastplate normally is. +1 to your charisma, and giants and titans have disadvantage on attacks against you while you're wearing it.
Nice.
Okay. That sounds like something I should wear. Can the breastplate itself go over the mithril?
Well, they don't stack. So you would have to wear one or the other. I don't think the breastplate actually would change your AC much because of its magical.
Yeah, I think, didn't you work out that it was the same?
I think it's about the same.
So, you know who should be wearing, well, okay. Probably
It-
is its sleeve size, isn't it?
What?
So, I can make that fit if there's somebody else. I mean,
I think this is perhaps something someone else could use. I'm a soldier, not necessarily a leader.
Oh, don't look at me. That thing looks way too heavy for my blood.
I can't
Plus, I've
wear
got
it.
this lovely armor.
so for anybody, if you can wear medium armor, you can wear the breastplate.
But I'm a druid.
That may
But-
also be an issue.
But you're a druid, so it is made of metal.
I cannot wear it. So, Sophia, looking
Everyone
at
turns
you.
and looks at Sophia.
Evidently, that would be me.
There we go. Get some armor for Sophia.
Something gives you a little protection against big things.
Not so subtle next time.
I mean, you
So
did
subtle.
get smacked around by a giant.
So did I, but that's way too heavy for me.
Okay. So yeah,
It's not too heavy for me. I'm fine.
So yes, if you can rework this for Sophia, that would probably be the best option.
You are definitely fine.
Well, other than singeing, maybe.
Yeah, but we're clearing that up.
Slowly.
Someday
quite
I'll
as
invent something called cold spray.
Blackened. I'm not as blackened as I was.
so yeah, so Vulcan will help you to like adjust the straps and everything. And it's weird. Like as he's helping you adjust it, it seems to be kind of like widening and growing a little bit to kind of fit.
Interesting.
Yeah, there. So when you have a little bit of time there, granddaughter, you should come and see me at the forge. I think ages ago I tried to teach your father how to create rather than destroy, but he wasn't interested.
It doesn't seem quite his style.
Exactly. But I do have things that I can teach you. If you find that you have the time.
I would love to.
So come see me at the forge. It shouldn't take longer than perhaps a week.
Oh, all right.
Sounds good.
Sure, we'll be making our way back north again.
Excellent.
Absolutely. I said, I'm hoping for a shield.
I will begin work on on repairing the shield and the axe as soon as I can.
Awesome.
So I will send one of my servants to locate you when they are ready.
Cool.
That's great. I love those things.
They are interesting. A little strange at first, but interesting once we got used to them.
Well, you know.
Ah.
I do really like this hammer, though.
The hammer will come in handy. Did your father ever tell you that its primary purpose is actually forging as opposed to smashing?
I think you told me that.
Oh, good. I was afraid I had forgotten.
I'm quite certain it was you.
So yes, if you ever find that you're in need of forging something or repairing something, the hammer will be quite useful. Oh, here, let me show you. And he basically he takes the he kind of holds out his hand for the hammer.
Well, she passes it over. No hesitation.
Okay. And he'll find like a good sized rock that he can kind of lean the shield out against. And then he just basically just starts tapping it lightly, and with each tap, the shield gets somewhat more repaired. And Deacon, those dents would take like a normal blacksmith like an entire day to fix.
Wow.
A light touch. I can see where that would be my father's forte.
Yeah. Freaking clumsy ox.
She'll smile over at her father, though.
Yeah, Patha's like, yeah, I heard that. Gonna go see if I can find a one-eyed giant.
We're meant to.
But he'll hand the hammer back. Say, I do need to work on the shield at the forge, but if you run into any troubles in the field, Sophia should be able to help repair anything that may be broken or damaged along the way.
That's
For some reason
convenient.
that I normally can't use mending for that sort of thing.
Mending fixes things up to a certain size limit.
Gotcha.
The way the hammer works is when you're creating magic items, you can create so many gold pieces worth of value per day. So I think the baseline is like each day of work you create 25 gold worth of stuff. So if the magic item is 500 gold, it's going to take you, what is that, 20 days to make. The hammer increases the amount of time or the amount of gold piece worth of magic items you can create.
Oh, that's cool because I only have the combat info.
Yep. And then the forge increases the amount of magic item stuff you can create per day, and then Volkine himself increases the amount of magic item stuff you can make per day. So basically, as you guys get into positions where you're like, oh, it would be really handy if we had this, that, or the other thing, Sophia with the hammer at the forge could probably create it given enough time.
Cool.
As opposed to having to find a magic item shop to buy things. Alrighty, so after he does so, he will transport via his shrine back, leaving you alone with Kyra and Valis.
So that worked out well.
It was exhausting, but
Satisfying nonetheless.
I think your arguments about how this could help to strengthen the Five's position is what swayed them in the end.
Speaking of which, Kyra, do you have enough energy for a quick collab so I have a song to sing as we walk home?
Certainly.
Okay, and I will go off with Kyra to quickly collaborate about tunes and verses and what have you, so that when we leave the temple, Helena will start singing the song through the streets.
I'd like to try to find somewhere in the city where I can buy some things to give as offerings.
Meanwhile,
I
Wrath is just like, I'm nothing if not persuasive.
I talked to the goddess of wisdom.
Okay.
What is it we seem to hear about statues being left behind by a snake cult?
The cult of the snake, they are a thorn in the side. Primarily of my husband, so they seem to they're the sort of people that believe in distribution of wealth.
Robin Hood.
Oh, what's wealth if it's not spread around?
Mattress for a dragon, apparently.
They're I suppose one could call them folk heroes. They rob from the rich and they distribute it through the poor in Stygian Row.
Huh.
Specifically, they seem to target those that make their money on the Minotaur trade.
Ah, I suddenly have no problem with these people.
Minotaur trade?
Sorry, what?
Yes.
Says the Minotaur.
They do what?
Trade in minotaurs.
Trade in minotaurs.
The Minotaurs are
You know, unpaid hired labor.
the practice of
Intern.
the practice of slavery was outlawed, but Gaius and the cult of Sidon have found a way around that.
Uh-huh.
Slavery may be outlawed, but those who find themselves owing an oath of servitude can have that oath transferred.
Ah.
transferred. And how is that done?
If, say, I will use you for an example. If Arathius was to owe you an oath of servitude, if you had done something for him and he had agreed that he would serve you for a year, you could then say, I don't require your services for the full year, so I will give them to Deacon here. That is perfectly allowed. So if a Minotaur should find itself with an oath of servitude, that oath of servitude can be traded and sold.
Sneaky.
It is not pleasant, but I do not have the capability to shut down an entire city's trade.
We do.
You do not, I guarantee you.
You know, we get told that an awful lot.
Yes. Have you been told by the Goddess of Wisdom that you do not have the capability to do so?
No.
You have now.
Well, I guess we'll just let the cult chip away at things then.
Yeah, I'm really not in any rush to stop them.
It is
Oh no, they've got away again.
However, Sidon and Lotharia's affront should not go unpunished. My understanding is that the Temple of Lotharia is not as well guarded as it should be.
Smash and grab.
Sounds like fun.
This, of course, is not an open invitation to cause chaos in the city or to cause any undue stress to the citizens thereof.
So don't blow things up. Gotcha.
We would never dream of it.
Yes, you would.
Yes, you would.
Only if there was a good meal afterwards.
Do you really think she can't tell if you're lying to her?
She's the goddess of wisdom.
Actually, I really don't want to fuck with our citizens. I just want to fuck up Lotharia's temple and the slave trade.
That's better.
As a word of caution, the Temple of Lotharia is exceptionally popular within the city. They provide all of the wine for all of the festivals.
I did mention it was passing strange that they didn't offer the idea of a fest as opposed to a sacrifice of children.
Yeah.
Yes, I will have words with Jaundice. But if you were to
I'd
find
have
a
words
way,
with a poisoned dagger into his neck.
It's not really my style.
Why?
No.
Why is he so anxious to sacrifice children?
He's trying to go out, get up the ladder the fastest way he sees how.
That is my understanding. But if you were to investigate this temple and find out if they were up to anything other than,
Shenanigan-y.
and were to bring evidence, we would have no choice but to prosecute them at the court.
Oh,
I can be
good.
stealthy when I want to.
That is, of course,
What?
if you should happen to find yourself, interested in such a thing. I certainly
Do I
cannot.
owe you a debt?
I certainly can't suggest you do such a thing.
No, of course not. Of course not. I just happen to enjoy screwing up Lotharian temples.
You were right the first time you enjoy screwing up.
But
First of all, I have a +3 to stealth, okay? I can be stealthy when I want to.
You just rarely want to.
Exactly. I'm a bard. I enjoy drawing attention to myself.
But now that the city is starting to come back to life, and you can see people are starting to like come out onto the streets and stuff as you guys are kind of very slowly making your way back to the palace. It's one of those things where nobody's really sure where exactly they're going, so you're just kind of walking.
I just wanted to get out.
But yeah, the sun is shining. People are starting to come out, and they're a lot of wondering as to what exactly happened. But before long, people are like, "Well, I should go. I should go open up my shop. I should, to go."
I'm gonna go start singing the song. I start walking down the street and literally singing the song Carrie and I were just collaborating on.
La 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 la. God suspend
God,
the
no.
storm.
Stop it, stop.
Feel free
I told
to
you the budget was blown
Yeah.
already.
feel free to enjoy the city while you're here. I'm sure my husband probably would like to speak with you. If you happen to be around, now that the storm is abated, we need to get the games functioning.
Games sound fun.
The Agora itself should be open very shortly. For those of you who are more studious nature, you can check out the Academy. If you have any need of me, I'm going to go and start making the arrangements for the games.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
It's been an honor meeting you.
I am pleasantly surprised. Often these so-called heroes do not live up to the name. So I shall have my eye on you.
I'm disappointed. I've tried not to for so long, but every time I do, I seem to still do.
Huh?
Hero, dear. Hero.
Ah, yeah. I start singing.
And she will hold out a small little brooch, probably about 2 inches or so. It's like,
Shiny.
I appreciate the candor with which you broached the subject. I appreciate that you did not destroy the temple or sacrifice the children. I would have hated to have to kill you.
Yeah, no problem.
So this is a small token of my thank you. And she will pass
thank you.
She'll pass you this brooch.
Fancy.
It will help to protect you in the times to come.
It does seem that we're going to need protection.
Yes, we are.
Speak for myself.
There's only so much almost dying one can take.
Yes. I will wholeheartedly agree with that today.
I've almost done it, 3 times now?
That's okay.
Too often.
Other than that, her and Kyra will make their way back to the palace.
I think we should find an inn and rest.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a selection of them. What part of the city would you like to rest in?
Stygian Row's probably a good spot to start.
That is my performance check to sing the song as we walk.
Okay.
If they have something with a courtyard, otherwise I'll find a temple.
Oh,
No.
I imagine there's several locations with courtyards that we can rest at.
Although, even today, I think I would actually prefer to find a temple.
Highly
Absolutely.
unlikely, though, that we'd find someplace with a courtyard in Stygian Row.
Well, we'll probably find a barn.
No.
I stop. Look around. Hey, Sophia, I found a temple.
Yes, thank you. So I don't think I could have found this place on my own.
Always glad to help.
I appreciate that. I do so appreciate your help. I may need help finding this again after we've eaten, but I should be fine.
Well, in that case, why don't we just find the nearest inn to where we are, and we'll set up shop, and we'll get the bottomless pit some food.
Yes, more food is always good. Wait, don't we need to go back to the palace to get the duck eggs?
I'm sure
That's
it's a little
breakfast
late for
tomorrow,
it.
isn't it?
Yes. I need dinner.
Well, we do have to go talk to the king, so we can do that. We'll rise early, and then we'll head out, and that way we can have breakfast.
All right, but I'd
Chris-
like to point out the only reason I'm getting up early is because it involves breakfast.
Understandable.
Okay.
Isn't that the
So I'm
whole
just
point
gonna
of
do-
getting up?
Really, it is.
Yeah, it totally is.
And
Breakfast.
so I
best-
can get drunk again that night.
You need a good foundation so that the alcohol doesn't go straight to your head.
Exactly.
Alrighty. So you guys are looking around for an inn or a tavern, or heading back to the
Yes.
palace. What's your plan?
Tavern first, I thought.
So as you kind of ask around, there are two. There's several taverns, but a lot of them are filled up because people came to Mitros for the games before the storm hit. So it's kind of like trying to find in space in like the city hosting the Olympics.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Guess we're staying at the palace.
But there are two that have some space. There is the Siren's Roost and the Satyr's Tail. Satyr's Tail.
Well, the Siren's Roost sounds a little on the nose. Satyr's Tail, well, things might get a little hairy.
Rowdy.
Well, I mean, I'm sure our siren would want at the one named.
Mm.
I mean, at the very least, they should let you play.
Yes, as a siren.
But play
I'm
with
sure
what?
it's
I
good play.
agree. Oh, I'll play with all kinds of things. I'm skilled in many instruments.
Promises, promises.
Siren's Roost it is.
Sure. What the hell?
Is that a skin flute joke?
It may have been.
Sadly, I think it was.
What's a skin flute?
A penis,
Oh.
darling.
Then why did you call it a penis joke?
Oh.
At this point, I'll remind any viewers
Sophia
that
just
we
walks
are
off.
R-rated.
Usually because of my language, but not today.
All the innuendos.
I'll have you know I've dropped
It's
at
not
least
innuendo
4
anymore.
F-bombs this game.
So
That is
far.
not innuendo anymore. That's just outright saying it.
It went from innuendo to in your ear.
Oh
How many
my.
times have I called slide on a dick this game?
At least one more.
Yeah, we've been talking about siren. that's
Dick
all.
barely qualifies as PG-13 these days.
True.
Alright.
Oh.
Off to the roost.
Caca, caca.
Evidently.
I'm still thinking about how great the gods are.
How they can break storms and bring back prosperity.
Mm.
So as you make your way to the Siren's Roost, as you approach it, you kind of understand why perhaps this place is not filled. The windows looking into it, there are a bunch of scantily clad individuals kind of lining the windows, reclining on like crushed velvet pillows and rich silks.
Oh my.
Yeah, this does seem like your kind of place.
Yes!
And the sign hanging above the door depicts a feathered woman in the throes of ecstasy.
This place looks great.
Promises, promises.
Told you this was
Well-
a good place.
It's like this place was made for us.
It really was.
It really wasn't.
Oh, come on, Sophia, live a little.
I think I'm going to go shopping for offerings and then go back to the temple. But if this is where I can find you lot tomorrow, or are we meeting just back at the palace for breakfast?
You may
Well-
have to come wake me from this place.
What part of town is the Siren's Roost in?
The Siren's Roost is right here.
Ah, okay.
So not terribly far.
You still may have to come wake me.
Sophia,
after that night of passion.
Yes.
The palace is up here.
if you're going shopping,
temple
what
is
do you
here.
need for coin?
Oh, I have coin.
I've been
Palace
carrying
is
the
number
party's
2.
treasury if you'd like to use it.
Oh, well, I'm certainly not going to stop you.
Personally, I'm
I
going to
will-
take advantage of the hospitality and stay at the palace. This place is a little, well, Erasmus looks up at the cliffs and everything, placing the place in the shade of a valley at most of the day. This doesn't afford a good view for me.
I'm
What was
going
this
to
place
enjoy
called
it.
again?
The Siren's
Siren's
Roost. It just seems so appropriate.
Oh, no doubt you'll have fun.
I will have fun.
Yes,
Sophia,
I'll be.
would you like gold or silver?
Anita, you said 4 was the palace.
Oh, 4 is the palace? Okay. Let me edit that then.
He was about to say what 2 was, but then we started talking again.
Two is the Temple of the Five.
Okay. I was going to say, you can just put it in our chat.
He's allergic.
No, it's just if I switch between Discord and Foundry, there's a chance that
The
the screen will.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
The whole reason when I was doing it for Torg, I was kept looking over my shoulder.
I have 15 gold right now. That's what I've been using to gradually purchase my way through various meals,
Okay.
make various offerings. What do we have in our group funds? I just thought that giving some of their power back to them would be a good idea.
Yes.
Well, as it stands, we have. Oops, let me get inventory. So we have 29 gold and 248 silver drachmas.
Well, if you'd like to lighten the load a bit, I can take the drachma.
I will also take a
It's
few if
not
you
like
don't
I'm going
mind
to find them heavy.
for my stay
I'm
here
not-
tonight.
I don't
I'm not
shop
even-
often, but how much are potions of healing? Do you know?
They would go for. Well, it depends on what sort of deal you can arrange on them. But they would be. They would cost you about 50 stater.
No. And we're not quite that rich.
No.
I was just thinking it'd be something worth buying.
Sorry, stater or which?
Gold.
Okay.
Yeah, if
We
you,
also have some precious rocks to unload. The amethyst ring, perhaps.
we should switch those in a shop. Just switch them in for coin.
Yeah, changing product for coin would at least make things easier to work with.
I will take a few of the drachma also for my stay here and tipping.
Tipping?
Tipping.
Well, if you'd like, I can take care of the. I'm not terribly skilled at it, but I can certainly do some rudimentary trading on our behalf while the rest of you enjoy the ambiance.
Oh, I certainly will.
It seems like a good time, but trading also sounds fun.
Well, you'll know where
Really
to find
depends on
me.
who you're trading with.
Deacon will give Sophia 100 drachma. He will
Okay.
also give 100 drachma to Helena.
Sweet.
Tweet?
So listed on your character sheet. I'm not even close to being encumbered, so don't worry about me.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sure I'll be able to find something worthwhile.
So will I.
All right.
Well, for you, probably lots of somethings.
It sounds so much dirtier when you
Someone's.
say it.
Everything sounds dirtier when I say it. That's the whole point.
Okay. So Sophia is making her way to the Agora, to the market.
Yes, apparently. Which area is that? 7?
Oh, Sophia, I will ask one favor. Don't kill any slavers without me.
All right. Fine.
Thank you.
No promises for me, though.
I mean, you can always come get me. You can always come get me.
I think you'd be more upset at me getting you than just dealing with things.
Depends on how good the wares are.
Sophia, would you like me to accompany you?
Yes, but I hardly want to draw you away from this place if this is where you'd prefer to be. I'm not. I don't feel threatened.
It's not bad. It's been a while since I've given up an offering to Python.
You helped save his daughter. I think that would count.
I tend to agree.
This is
At
about
least I should hope.
empowering the gods. So we must do our part.
It's very true. That's why I'm doing it.
I empower them with singing my song and making other people worship them.
Exactly. And as a humble soldier, I feel that I need to do my part right now. So I will shop for an offering with you.
I would absolutely enjoy the company.
So Sophia and Deacon are going to the market. Helena is going to the Siren's Roost. Where is Arathius going?
I think at this point, Arathius is going to wander.
Okay.
Thought he was coming to the market to look for potions, but maybe not. I suppose the potions were crazy expensive, weren't they?
Yeah, I'm a decent negotiator. I'm not fucking god here. I'm not the god of the markets.
Okay. So you're just kind of wandering and seeing the sights?
Yeah, like I'll start off with Sophia and and Deacon, and at some point they'll turn around and I just won't be there because I've wandered off.
Okay.
Indulging my fey nature a little bit.
Okay. And where is Agri?
Doing the exact same things, except instead of shopping, he's just basically going down through Stygian Row, since we're down there anyways for Siren's Roast.
Okay. Well, the Siren's Roost is actually in a respectable area of town.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And Stygian Row.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I thought so.
Oh, wow.
It's the dock district. It's not where the people live just trying to grab what falls out of people's pockets.
Excellent. Yeah, so I guess I'll make my way around town.
And those are those would be considered the outside docks, so all the places around there are far shadier.
All right. So we'll start at the Siren's Roost. As you go in, there's this absolutely beautiful siren dressed in like a scarlet toga. Welcome to the Siren's Roost. Here you can taste the finest fruits of immortality.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Would you care for a menu?
Absolutely.
So she gives you a double-sided menu. On one side are the various food dishes. You do notice that they are pricier than things have been in other cities.
Yes.
And I will make the menu available under the journal tab.
Okay.
And on the other side of the menu are a list of companions and
Oh,
The
Ah,
other
the long
fair
fork.
offer.
And more specifically,
God.
which god or which type of nymph they are related to,
Oh,
along with their prices for companionship. And the cheapest starts at 50 gold.
oh,
Ah,
damn. That's no fun.
you found the pricey ones.
But there is Axios, who is the son of Narcissus, the lost god of beauty. There is Calypso, who's the daughter of a sea nymph. There is Doria, the daughter of a river nymph. Eosia, the daughter of a sky nymph. Callistor, the son of
Oh.
Pythor. Phasis,
Oh, I know your sister.
son of Helios, the sun god. Stremon, the son of a sea nymph. And Tegite, the daughter of a mountain nymph.
I heard the
could've
child
gotten
of a sky
really,
nymph. I
really
might know their parent.
Yeah. Oh, your
Wow,
second
this
menu
menu.
looks like so much fun.
Well,
Shame
like
you need more
this
money.
regular food menu is like highway robbery. Holy crow!
Yeah, that's fine. Oh, they don't have a house platter.
Nope, that is a specialty of the Dragon's Tooth. They're trying it out. They're seeing how it works. Other tavernas have not yet caught on to this concept.
They have a more rugged clientele too.
Listen, this is what you need to do, and I'll explain it to them.
Yeah, the siren, she's politely paying attention, but not really.
The only way they'd offer something like that here is basically if it was a party platter for them to enjoy between companions. For a
That's
group.
fair. That's fair.
I suspect everything's priced up for the games.
Probably.
Am I seeing a different menu? Because I am
I don't
seeing
see it.
a platter.
It's under the
Taverna
Taverna
menus.
menus for the
Yeah.
Siren's Roost menu.
They have a cheese and bread platter.
Yeah, she wanted the dragon feast one.
Oh, she wanted the stuff yourself until you can't move one. Gotcha.
Yes.
The horde platter for 2 gold.
Yep.
I will take the fig and olive stuffed hedgehog and a pitcher of wine.
So Ambrosia will bring this to you, and you notice, I hate to use the term, but it's a lot like a fantasy Greek version of Hooters.
It's fine.
Like all of the servers and everything are obviously here for
Wings
their-
and things.
God.
Yeah. Well, wings and things would be like the Stygian row
Yeah.
version.
Oh. Do you mind if I sing after I eat?
Well, we have a house band, so it's not really we don't do open stage.
Okay. I have a new song about the gods that I need to sing. I did promise the queen.
Well, Queen's not here, so
Wah, wah, wah.
Burn.
you know, if you want to come back tomorrow maybe, and we'll see if we can't squeeze in an audition.
Okay,
An audition.
Ah, burn.
that's fine. Helena will remember that.
Until she forgets.
Oh no, she never forgets a slight. Never.
But I understand that there are some open air performances once they get the games underway. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you can, find a street corner and make some coin that way.
Oh dear, coin is not what I'm interested in, but that's just fine.
Wow.
Well, coin's something you'd be interested in if maybe could get enough to have a companion.
Oh dear.
You went to a brothel expecting something else.
Apparently. They
Yeah,
will
your
not be
tryout
getting a
isn't
good review.
the tryout will definitely measure your lung capacity, but not in the way you're expecting.
But other than that, the food is pleasant enough. It's not anything super special. It's certainly not worth the prices you're paying.
No.
Let's see, Deacon, you are wandering, or no, sorry, Rathius is wandering around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Deacon's hanging out with Sophia about to make
Yeah.
some sacrifices.
So you break off from Sophia and Deacon. You kind of make your way around. You do find. Let's see, which way would you wander? Actually, just ping on the map whereabouts you would like to wander to.
Probably wind up that way. Not necessarily in that section, specific part of it, but up that way.
Up in that way. Okay,
Yeah.
so you hang out with Deacon and Sophia for a fair while since they're headed to the Agora, which is over here.
Yeah. That's probably part of why I stuck with them in the first place.
So you guys kind of come up this little pathway, like here, kind of make your way around. And the whole like kind of market area is on like a raised cliff, so there's very few avenues with which to get it. So yeah, do have to kind of make your way around and kind of funnel through a gate.
Yeah, I'm noticing that.
Interesting.
So
The
the gate,
entire district is like that one gate.
yep. So the gate itself is a very decorative, very beautiful statuary surrounded by very lush greenery. And this is, it's not the noble area, but it is definitely very upscale. And as you kind of enter into the gate, you can see the Agora. Excuse me, the Agora is off in one direction. There's a very lovely garden off to the like opposite the Agora. A little bit deeper in, you can see an absolutely massive oak tree. And also a very large temple-like building here. That's about all you can see as you kind of enter through the gates.
Yeah, I'll have to remember to mention the garden and the tree to Agri later. But as Arathius breaks off, he heads towards the temple structure and the rest of that district from beyond it.
Okay. So as you get to the temple-like building, it seems to be the court. It is a broad circular white marble building, kind of standing a little bit apart. And there are several large bronze tablets at the entrance that describe the laws of the city.
Oh.
Not a temple at all.
No, it's a different type of temple.
The laws seem to be, as you kind of peruse them, they seem to be primarily focused on how to punish someone who's been convicted of a crime. Mitros does actually have a jury system. And the jury can number from 10 to 300.
Oh, wow.
Generally, the way it goes down to is if someone's delinquent in paying a debt, they have 1 week to pay it, after which the debtor may be brought before the court forcibly. Unless the debtor pays the amount owed, the debtor is forced to serve 1 day for every gold owed until the debt is paid. So if you owe somebody 30 gold and you don't pay it in the agreed upon time, then you have 1 week, after which you would have to work for that person for 30 days.
I have to remember that to let Helen know.
Yeah. And given what Valis said about how oaths of servitude can be traded,
yeah,
you can see very easily how that feeds into that not slavery system.
Indentured servitude.
Theft and assault are punished by enslavement as an oarsman aboard a ship chosen by the court for a period of no less than 1 year and up to your entire life.
Whew.
The guilty party may choose death by the dragon instead.
Oh, don't give the dragon the pleasure.
Yowza.
Murder, bribery of a court official, treason, and anyone convicted of burning a building within the city or any of the outlying farms or settlements is punishable by death.
I like how bribing a court official is up there with arson and outright murder.
Well, you got to keep the courts honest.
And when it says punishable by death, it is literally punishable by death by the dragon. Other than that, after you kind of look over these bronze plates, the courthouse itself is actually open, as long as court isn't in session. If you want to take a look inside.
Yeah, I'm mildly curious about this place that puts people into slavery under a different name or death.
So the building itself, it's circular. The interior, there are 10 rows of seats that kind of circle the inside circumference. You would guess that is either for the jury or for onlookers. You don't know whether they have onlookers or not. And then in the center is a raised platform. It looks like this interior building would seat probably 300 to 600 people.
It's a spectacle here still. Bread and circuses.
Bread and circuses. And as you kind of make your way a little bit further south, you come to the public bathhouse, which has 2 large baths, both about the size of large swimming pools. It also includes a open-air gymnasium and many smaller rooms for massages.
Is that 10?
Yes.
Okay.
I might just come back here after I finish wandering the district.
Yeah. And the thing that you notice, there's no prices posted for access to the baths, but there are some acolytes from the temple of the Five, who are basically collecting donations.
Yep.
The other main thing that you notice is you can literally see steam rising off of one of the 2 baths.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely coming back here.
Kind of making your way a little bit south, you do see a very opulent villa, full of lush gardens, statuary, pools, fields, a large hedge maze, a fountain in the center. It is. You thought the king spent a shitload of money on his palace and stuff? This place is like way more than what the king spent.
The dick waving on the other side of this king of the city.
And yeah, it is like a very large walled estate.
I wonder if the person here is involved in the Minotaur trade. That's a lot of wealth.
It is a lot of wealth on display. Other than that, as you kind of make your way around, there's a lot of people here. Like the streets are fairly crowded. You do kind of like out of the corner of your eye here and there catch like very quick, very agile pickpockets working the crowd. Nobody really making their way towards you, but there is. It is a city on the verge of having a large festival, and the streets are packed.
Good thing I don't look like a particularly well-to-do traveler.
All right, I agree.
Yeah, so with that, Arathis will return to the public bathhouse and broil himself alive.
Perfect. Yes, they have both a hot and a cold bath, and you can decide if you would like to donate or not.
Yeah, Arathis will donate.
So I agree. As you make your way down to the dock area, Stygian Row, it's very different from the rest of the city. It's clogged. It stinks. It smells like sweat and fish and salt and brine.
Agri will actually, as soon as he starts to recognize the dynamic change as he gets closer, he's actually casting a spell.
Okay. Oh, nice. So you're going to making your way as stealthily as you can through this area.
Yeah, basically, I want to go take a look without being accosted.
Gotcha. So the big things that kind of draw your attention here is there's a very large fish market. They sell shark, eel, octopus, along with all the fishing supplies and gear you could ever want. It seems like every second place you pass here seems to be a tavern of some sort that are like filled to the gunnels with drunks. It is. Your guess would be that people held up in these places when the storm started and have been drinking ever since.
Awesome.
You do notice there is one of the fish markers is a impossibly old dwarf. Who's basically he seems to sell his stuff cheap. At least cheaper than the other fish market mongers around. Doesn't notice you. Looks like he's like blind in one eye, if not both, from age.
So yeah, I'll go over and see what he has for wares.
It's like, who said that?
I'll specifically say, well, I guess I did.
Well, I got fish, and I got fish. I got stuff to catch fish.
Fish it is.
Ah.
How much would a drachma get me?
Well, do you want today's catch, or do you want yesterday's catch, or do you want last week's catch?
As fresh as you can get it, as I'd like to sacrifice it.
Sacrifice a fish.
It's better than nothing.
That's true. Yeah, I know in my time I've sacrificed a lot of things. Dangerous going out on the water's not, proper sacrifice. Side and the storms will eat you just as soon as look at you. And I've seen them look at you. He starts just dumping fish into this wicker, shallow wicker bucket.
Awesome.
They're pretty fresh. They were definitely, to Agri's trained eye, they were definitely caught early this morning.
Okay.
The ones down at the far end of the table, you're afraid to touch them because you think they'll just kind of fall apart.
Gross.
If it smells, it sells.
Ew! Gross!
We don't get many of your kind here. Are you here for the games?
Plan to participate.
Oh. Well, I'll keep my eye open for you.
Excellent.
And as he says that, he kind of he pops out his glass eye and kind of polishes it on his vest and pops it back in.
God.
How'd you lose that?
This one? Oh, the eye I lost. I don't know what you call him. Some sort of fish man type of thing. Came right up on my boat. Got a hook in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, glad you were able to make it back ashore, and obviously here to sell me these wares today.
Oh yeah. I haven't met anything on the ocean yet that can kill me. Things have tried. Oh, I've seen shit. You're going out. You're not a sailor, are you? I mean, I met a centaur sailor or two in my time.
I prefer the land, unfortunately.
Smart lad. Smart lad. At least on the land, you don't usually have to worry about things coming up underneath and eating you.
Yep.
Well,
Yeah, that's basically what's going on in Agri's head.
Well, if you see anybody else that needs any fish for sacrifice, you tell them come see Sam. Samuel, that's my name.
Sounds good, Sam, the fisherman.
Yeah.
I'll send them your way, and if I win at the games, I'll send some your way too. Also.
Oh, that's mighty kind of you. He kind of like he hobbles around from behind his little stall, and you see he's got like one leg that like from the mid thigh down is just like a wooden peg. And he like holds out his just kind of like fish gut covered hand.
I go ahead and give him a handshake back and give him his coin for the fish.
Thank you kindly.
Hey, Chris, this is
Yeah.
totally a character that we could have in Conan.
Oh yeah.
When you mean have, he's already there.
So, I apologize, Chris. Drachma is silver or gold?
Silver.
Okay, so I pile a piece of gold underneath the silver when I pass it to him, and if you'd like, I can do a sleight of hand to make it so he doesn't see it until
Sleight of hand, the blind man.
I don't know if he's fully blind.
Oh, you're trying to hide it from him? Yeah, make a sleight of hand at advantage.
There you go.
Okay. And then I assume you move away before he notices.
Yeah.
Okay.
Curse that centaur.
People pay me too much. What's wrong with kids these days?
And then hobble my way back. See if I can find the rest of them.
Something else you notice in Stygian Row is there's some other individuals that look like that the blue skinned gentleman with the horns that you saw in the palace. Different skin tones, but they still have those like kind of curved horns coming out of the sides of their heads, kind of curled backwards. And a couple, not many, but a couple of like larger, not giant size, not even cyclops size, but like larger human looking folks that have like a kind of a greenish or a gray tint to their skin. And like everybody else in Stygian Row here, it is like absolute squalor.
Okay.
But assuming you don't dally too long, you can make it up before you pass through the trace drops.
Yep. That was the plan.
Yeah, perfect. The Agora for Deacon and Sophia. So the Great Agora is the heart of the Noble District. There is a multitude of vendors selling stuff from all across the continent. There are like these huge marble roofed, almost like a gazebo to provide shelter from the rain and the sun. There are 12-foot tall statues of the five watching from around the different edges of the Agora. But there is a statue of Sidon in the center that is taller than the statues of the five. There is all manner of goods here. There is fish, there is meat, there is wine, there is cheese. There are people selling cows and goats and sheep and pottery and clothing and armor and weapons. And there's one guy that seems to sell like, replacement parts for chariots. It is a smorgasbord of different shops and things.
Well, Sophia's looking for things that are appropriate for temple offerings to no, absolutely not. To Pythor, Vulcan, and Valis. And who is the fourth?
Kara.
Kyra. Yes, we should probably offer her something as well.
Now I get something for her.
So basically, looking to spend a quarter of the 100 drachma on each of them. Actually, no, she'll add. She'll add 2 gold to that. So looking to spend about 2 gold and 25 silver, so 3 and a bit
Okay. For that you could get. You could probably. You could definitely get a couple of chickens or something similar.
She prefers something that isn't a live animal.
So yeah, you can find some some quality oils and incense and some good quality olives and things of that nature. Then,
That sounds far more lovely.
and there are jewelers and stuff here if you guys wanted to trade in any of your gems for coin.
Absolutely.
And there is also a store here. There's a couple of stores that kind of really draw your attention. There's one called Grimmick's Armory, which obviously is armory, and then there's another one called Zoran's Concoctions.
Ooh, what's that? That sounds interesting.
Stores that popped up in the NPC cut.
That looks interesting.
Yeah, probably.
We at least go in for a moment. Unless you want to go and check out the armory area. Grimmix.
Well, yeah, I probably should pick up a new whetstone. Mine's been seeing heavy use lately.
No doubt.
Yeah. I don't want things to wear off and be not sharp.
Well, if you'd like to head there, I'll spend a moment or two in Zoran's and see what sorts of things they have.
Yes, you're probably much more the target demographic than I am.
Well, they might have something that would be useful for a soldier.
Oh, possibly. I'm sure there's many a different kind of weird potions and concoctions. The question is whether or not you find a real thing or you find a charlatan.
Very,
And you
very
would
true.
know better than I would.
Well, only by virtue of so many of them passing through my hands. But yes, I'll take a look and I'll meet you back at midway. I'm
Sure. Sounds good.
All right. So Zoran's it's fairly small, and inside it is dusty and dark, but the walls are stocked with all kinds of bottles and oils and elixirs, and there's a couple pieces of jewelry on display and a game board and.
Quick, buy the free potion of heroism before the seller realizes it's free.
She's going to pause at the game just to see what it is.
This kind of middle-aged gentleman in a white and purple, like fairly simple tunic and stuff comes out and says, "Oh, have you ever played 20 Squares?"
Have I?
Probably not.
Not really, no. Really more of a temple dweller.
It's an interesting game. It's said that the game is created by the gods themselves.
Really? Which ones?
Created by Mitras herself.
Interesting.
The game itself is blessed by the gods, empowered by their essence.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's interesting.
Well, the interest really is in what the wager is.
Oh, I don't know anything about this game.
Well, it's very simple. You play the game, and the instructions are included, but whatever you wager is binding.
Interesting.
Whatever you wager is binding.
Seems a touch sinister. All right. I will keep that in mind if anyone challenges me to a game.
It said just before the oath of peace, Mitra convinced Sidon to play, and she wagers her own life against a portion of his power.
That's a bit more interesting than it had been a moment ago.
It said that's how the five gods acquired their power, was because she won. But that's just a story. But if
Well,
you're
it's a story-
interested,
It's a story I'll be following up on.
I could sell you this copy of the game.
Really? And how much are you asking for this copy?
Given the power contained within, I couldn't let it part for more than. I like the looks of you. I could let this go for 800 stater.
Sadly, you'll have to let it go to someone else.
Well, more's the pity.
Heroism doesn't pay terribly well.
Well, I do have other items that are perhaps not as expensive.
Perhaps.
You mentioned heroism. I have potions that will keep you on your feet long after you should have gone to meet the goddess of death herself.
Oh?
I could let you have those for 50.
50.
Stater.
Yes, as I said, heroism doesn't pay terribly well.
Oh, more's the pity.
It is. Between being a priestess and being a hero, there really isn't a great deal of stater in my life.
Well, perhaps you look young and fit. My understanding is that there is a sizable cash prize for the winner of the games.
That may be, but I'm not sure we're staying that long.
Oh. That's a shame. Well, if you do find yourself in some coin, come and see Zoran, and I'll make sure that you're treated right.
Healing potion. That would be nice. What does that potion of heroism do? You said it keeps you on your feet for long after you should have fallen over.
No, that's this potion here. This potion will put some skill behind your blows, make you a little bit more resistance to the depredations of magic. But if you can't afford the first potion, you certainly can't afford this one.
No, I wouldn't expect so. Certainly not right now.
Chris, after my meal, I'm probably going to leave the Siren's Roost.
Okay. We'll come back when you have some coin, and perhaps we can do business.
Thank you so much. I'll just sort of take note of various things he has on offer.
The sad thing is that could have applied to you or Helena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Meanwhile, over at the armory, the gentleman working the armory, the older gentleman, probably in his late 50s, grizzled, heavily scarred. You can see what are definite he's definitely seen action in places.
Battle wound.
Afternoon.
Hi.
You looking for anything in particular? New sword, new shield?
Well, actually, kind of more mundane. I'm just really looking for new whetstone. Mine's been seeing some use as of late.
Oh, yeah. It's important to keep the keep everything in good working order. You never know.
Well, if it's not sharp, I mean, hey, it's no good.
Charlie
Yes.
was back my leg.
Yeah, I can definitely pick you up with that. Like, so which campaigns did you fight in?
Well, I list a few of my soldierly resume, and currently we're on a hero's quest.
I saw my fair share of action before. There's a very thin line between a slow soldier and a dead soldier.
Yes, very much so.
So,
You definitely have seen. Where are your battles?
I fought in some of the Eurasian campaigns.
Hmm.
So, you know,
Those were rough,
well, lost many good friends, made some good friends.
as is always.
You know, made enough coin to retire here, set up the shop, and do what I can to help out brothers in arms, as it were.
Well, that is wonderful to hear.
So, are you here for the games or traveling through?
Possibly one, both, or so. We were summoned, so we spoke with the king.
Ooh,
Things happened. The rain stopped, and yeah, we might decide to take in the games.
yeah. I think people can use something to take their minds off of everything that's been happening. Games are good.
Ab- Absolutely, and more importantly, the gods were the ones that stopped the rain. It was beautiful.
I can't imagine Sidon's going to be too happy, and I think he'll be less happy that the games are happening.
Well, at this point in time, my view on it is kind of like, well, boo-hoo. So get used to it. Maybe it's time to wander off into the sunset and, leave the whole vengeful god thing, by the wayside.
Maybe. So, well, if you're taking part in the games, good luck. And if not, you know, let anybody you know that may need equipment to come see me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll walk.
Also, what do the games entitle?
Oh, there's a variety of events. Kind of depends on what you're good at. Anybody's free to enter. Some of the kingdoms send teams even.
Oh, racing, gladiatorial, other things?
There's jumping, long jumping, high jumping. There's some running competitions. There's javelin throwing. There's wrestling. There's boxing. But the big event, the one that everybody wants to win for the glory and fame it brings, is the great relay.
Do tell.
So yeah, it's needs a team of 5 people to compete. It's a 5-stage relay. In order to take place in the Great Relay, though, you do have to have had some sort of showing in one of the previous events, or if you've got a friend who wins the boxing match, they could say, "This guy here, he's good for the relay." They can use their clout from placing in the previous events to sponsor you, as it were. You might be able to find a taverna or a shop or something to sponsor you as well. That'll usually get you into the relay. Prize money's pretty good. You get free drinks and free food in the inns, tavernas for the rest of the week.
I know folks who would appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a running on the beach, and then They get some folks from the academy and they freeze over a section of the lake, and then you got to swim, underneath the frozen water. Got to climb a cliff. Got to dash across some hot coals, and then make your way past the harpies.
Sounds challenging.
Past the herpes.
Sounds like nothing we haven't done before.
And of course, all for the glory of Vulcan.
Oh yes, absolutely. How much do I owe you for the whetstone?
Considered a gift for your service.
I will take out 10 drachma and give it to him and say, thank you for the conversation and the information.
Oh, you're welcome. Best of luck if you're taking part. And if you've got a team and you need a sponsor, let me know.
Absolutely.
All right.
And I wander off to Sophia.
Okay, perfect. So we will assume that everybody can kind of catch up.
Yeah, she'll meet him just outside the armory door.
So Helen has made it to the market at this point, then?
Yeah, I'll assume that everybody has caught back up.
Baratheus looking brilliant and clean. And
worst
Yeah.
tavern ever.
Found some fish.
Yeah.
Oh, the public baths are amazing.
I will try those out. Far more expensive than it was worth.
Oh, I agree. Up here, there's this wonderful looking garden, and then looks like a giant tree shrine too.
Ooh, excellent. And he passes over to Sophia this huge basket of fish and says,
She
"For your
passed it off to
sacrifice."
Helen as quickly as... Oh, okay then. Lovely.
The
Thank you.
temple-looking structure is actually the courthouse.
Neat.
And I found who the king's been competing with in his spending for demonstration.
Oh.
Oh yes, there's a lovely estate on the southern end of this rise. That there's various parts of it that do put the palace to shame.
Whose estate is it?
I didn't see the name or can interact with them, but I wouldn't be surprised to find out they're involved with the Minotaur trade.
Lovely.
So if we screw up their estate, it might put a damper on that?
Well, you don't want to do it and be wrong, because the punishment for crimes here can be quite severe.
If you get caught.
Well, that's not a reason to do things.
I don't think we've ever done anything that was terribly subtle.
I, for one, don't want to be found owing someone and therefore put into a contract of servitude, and therefore I could then be traded to someone else.
Yeah, this whole slavery concept is just bonkers.
We really need to figure out a way to get rid of that.
It's part of the consumerism here in the city.
It's attached to their laws. That's where the loophole comes into play.
Kill all the rich people one by one?
Yeah, but aren't we like friends with the queen? Can we get the laws changed?
Probably not as easy as that.
The courthouse seems like it operates independent of the ruler.
Yeah, she was quite adamant in the fact that we could not change this.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a large factor of that is simply the fact that it is attached to the laws of the land.
Mm.
And is probably quite rampant everywhere here.
By the way, Stygian Row wasn't as bad as everybody's leading it to believe. Just a lot of fishermen.
Oh?
That's where I met Sam, and he gave me the fresh catch.
So do we have any other plans for the rest of the day? Otherwise, I'm going to eventually make my way to the palace for the night.
Yeah, I think I'll head with you. The Siren's Roost was not as fun as I was hoping.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah, far more expensive than they're actually worth.
Anyone
So-
interesting work there?
Many things in the city.
Sophia's brother.
I'm sorry, what?
One of your brothers on Pythor's side works there, supposedly.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Well, that's the thing.
I mean, we could go back if you'd like to say hi. Although
think-
they might try to charge you 50 an hour.
I think we've all pretty much determined that maybe just staying out and about and instead palace for the evening is probably a good thing.
Yes.
We'll just get extra pillows to tuck Helena in because she's so disappointed.
I am. I'm
think I'd
extremely disappointed.
rather go to the temple first.
Oh, certainly. The temple's nearby anyway.
I
Yep,
take
either or.
I take the bucket of fish.
Thank you.
I think no worries. This can be mine.
Greatly appreciated.
It seems more. That seems something more upside on Zally.
After, though. After, I'd like to go back to the Siren's Roost.
Sure. I offered to sing there. They wanted me to audition.
Probably a different kind of singing.
Audition?
Then.
I've never been so insulted in my life.
It's probably a different kind of singing.
That's not the kind of singing I was offering.
That's not the type of singing they're looking for.
Audition.
Audition. Yes.
I imagine they have a
Audition.
lovely couch that people do casting tests on.
No.
Ah.
I am not a prostitute and I do not audition.
Probably not a hero sofa.
No.
I'm curious to see who's trying to pass himself off as Pythor's son.
Yes, as I don't believe there is one.
I mean, maybe.
I don't know.
But-
Have I ever heard of a son of his, Chris?
Pythor gets around.
Python
Yeah,
gets
I know.
around.
That's part of the problem.
Have
So,
you
That is
have you ever
exactly
heard of a
part
son
the
of
problem.
Zeus?
It's pretty much the same thing. Although,
Very much so.
So where are you guys off to now that you've regathered?
Temple. Or at least that's where Sophia's headed.
Temple for their
Yeah.
sacrifice, then palace for the evening.
Yeah,
Temple
and
for
or well,
sacrifice. Siren's
we're gonna-
Roost. To see
yeah,
who's
stop.
claiming
Yeah,
to be
Oh, he's
Pythor's
going to
son.
be busy at this time of day.
Then the palace.
probably
don't
not
know.
actually because they are really expensive.
Everything in the city is. I think they're used to it. Or
I think it's the game.
everyone.
It could be the games.
Most likely, yes.
It's really annoying.
Everyone puts their price up when there's
A
something
festival?
big happening. Exactly.
Well, the games it's a big money event. Turns out there's a 5-person relay event that is apparently the thing, and winning
Sophia.
it is quite something.
I bet Helena could use our good favor from the king to perform for the opening of the games. Or at least get her new ballad performed, the one honoring the sacrifice of the gods.
Oh. Wouldn't be a bad thing to ask for,
Oh, that would stick it to them.
wouldn't it, though?
It would. I would like that.
You guys do remember that Vala specifically said she was headed to the palace to start planning out the games.
Yep. But yes, I think you'd have an easier time getting the opportunity to speak with your erstwhile brother in the early hours of the day as opposed to the late ones.
Yes.
What time is it now? Ish.
It's late afternoon.
Well, it's sort of on the way. We have to pass through that level of the city at least to get to the temple.
If you actually follow the city's roads, the down's over here.
Uh-huh.
That's actually going out of our way to go back there.
Which one was the temple again?
The temple's 2,
Oh, yes.
and it's a fairly straight shoot through the boulevards to get back up to there.
Well, there was nowhere that we had anything pressing.
Not really, no.
I just have no intentions to get involved in that scene at 11:05.
Yeah.
Same.
That's true,
Yeah.
too. Very true. Temple it is.
hence the gentle in character prodding of let's do that in the morning.
So you guys make your way back to the temple. It's weird, like when you were here previously, like it was literally infused with the power of the gods, so you can still kind of sense their presence, but it's like going back to the house you grew up in. It feels a little off, a little empty,
A little smaller.
a little bit smaller. But there are the kind of the braziers for each of the gods, and so with the stuff Sophia picked up at the market, the high quality olives and figs and cheese, basically all kind of like high
Oil
end stuff.
and
Yeah, scented oils and the like. Make a religion roll.
See what my dice think of me now. Nothing. They think nothing of me.
So you basically leave the sacrifices, pay proper reverence, and you hope it did some good. You hope that it was, a little trickle, but at least enough to let the gods know that they are still worshipped and respected.
Seems like such a basic thing. I would hope that you're able to at least do something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know that you did everything properly. You just don't know what effect it may or may not have had.
Compared to the power we felt racing through here earlier, nothing is going to touch it.
Correct. Make your way back to the palace to perhaps talk to somebody about Helena performing at the opening of the games, which is a phenomenal idea. When you approach the palace, the Centurions lead you right to the throne room fairly quickly. And Acasus is there. He doesn't have his advisors around. He does say, I was hoping that you would stop by at some point. I never had a chance to thank you for what you've done for the city." And he pulls out a rolled parchment from like out of his cloak. So
You're welcome.
This map will lead you to the last known whereabouts of my ancestor's ship. You may have heard of it, a ship called the Ultros.
Oh, we've heard passing mention.
There was a time when I thought that I might lay claim to it myself, but I have no need of it now, since I am working on rebuilding the ancient order of the Dragonlords as my forefathers did. In time, I will have an entire legion of Dragon Mounted warriors, and I no longer have any need of this ship. So, this is a thank you for what you've done.
Oh, thank you for your thank you, my lord.
Now, if you
And
but
we're
I will take a knee before the king and accept the scroll.
now I have much to do, but hospitality, of course, is extended if you require a place to stay for your time here.
we will gladly accept that and move along to perhaps trouble your wife, the queen, about matters of the games.
Very well. I do hope you you at least get a chance to observe, if not participate. The people of the city need something to look up to. And then he kind of like, not very subtly, like, shoo shoo, busy
Yeah.
now.
Mm-hmm.
But we will call it there before you get a chance to talk to Valis.
Okay.
Yep.
But yes, so our last game of 2022.
Yes.
Ooh.
2021.
2021, yes.
2021.
Wow, if
Yeah.
this is the last
Already.
game of 2022, I'm
Yeah.
wow.
Time is meaningless.
It all
Time
runs
is
together after a
How
fleeting.
while.
it feels sometimes.
Ah, yeah.
I think this is what, our second game without combat?
Um,
Well, there was social conflict.
yeah.
Lots
Yeah.
of social conflict.
I mean, there was no combat other than me getting struck by lightning and killed.
Bazinga!
You didn't
I mean, other than that,
You didn't
You didn't die.
exactly.
But that's
You're
not an
dead
XP
thank
generating
God.
moment.
Um,
Yep.
I will actually give XP, like basically quest and role playing XP.
Cool.
Let's see. That will actually be enough to get people up to level 5.
Ooh, something to look forward to in 2022. Level 5 party.
There you go.
Woohoo.
Oh, I think my epic poem went up again tonight too.
Cool.
There was enough rolls.
We definitely need some love before the game.
Yes.
So level 5. The big things for level 5 are for your pure casters. Gives you access to level 3 spells.
Yep.
Which is when you start getting things like for the cleric, it's when you can get revivify and sending.
yes.
For bard, oh, I think what there's level 3. Cosmo Force, maybe there's some.
I know.
good level-
I get my natural second attack.
Yep. An interesting thing just to keep in mind with Deacon. So when you take the attack action, you now get 2 attacks.
Mm-hmm.
So if you action surge, which gives you another action, and you use that to attack, it is another use of the attack action. So it's another 2 attacks.
Oh wow.
3 attacks. Rah!
4.
4.
Oh, even better.
Yeah.
2 per. Yep.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That's why when you get those high level fighters where they naturally get 4 attacks and then they action surge and they get 8 attacks.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good thing. I like it.
I think at 5th level as well, your proficiency bonus goes up, so all of your skills and your attacks and your saving throws that you're trained in will all go up.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes to +3.
See, you mentioned Revivify, but I'm looking at it. It's like diamonds worth 300 gold, which the spell consumes. I will never have that.
It's an incredibly powerful spell, which is why it's that expensive.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not something that will be happening anytime soon.
Well, I mean, you might get a gift from someone like an oracle again.
And you guys do have some gems and stuff that you can sell, and I think you're carrying around a number of adamantine javelins that you could probably sell.
Yeah.
The big thing for Helena is your bardic inspiration die goes to a D8.
Yes. And
Nice.
now it is a minimum value of 4.
And you also get Font of Inspiration, which means your bardic inspiration comes back on a short rest instead of a long rest.
Oh, that is nice.
I get another spell known, and my spell slot level goes to level 3, and another invocation.
Yeah, I didn't know if you got another invocation or not, but yeah, the level 3. And that's the weird thing with warlocks is you get very, very limited spells, but they're all at max level.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't even have a level 2 spell.
Um,
I have 2 of them. Now I'm going for level 3 one.
and then for Agri, it will depend whether you go up as Druid or Barbarian.
Yeah, it's probably going to be Druid, so I can finally get that ability score improvement.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can decide what all you would like to do with your characters over the break. We'll roll hit points like via the Discord or whatever.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
And then we will pick up on, I think it's January the 9th. Let's see.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
Feels like a long break.
Yeah, should be.
I suppose it'll be the 26th.
Yeah.
So yeah, we will be off for Boxing Day, and then we will return on January the 9th. So happy whatever holiday you celebrate at this time of year.
Happy winter Inmes.
Happy
Happy
Festivus.
holidays, folks.
Happy winter holiday.